Hi, Phanessa here. In this video, I am going to demonstrate how to knit the smocking stitch. So this is what it looks like. This is a 7x7 square. I haven't blocked it yet. On this side, it reminds me of the bamboo stitch. So in a way, you could probably use this as a reversible fabric because the wrong side doesn't look too bad. Okay, information and links to all of the yarn information and tools that I'm using will be linked in the description box. Okay, and before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you'll be notified every time I post a video. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to be using this yarn here. It is Hobby Yarns Divina. I love this yarn, it's so soft. And I'm going to be using Lantern Moon's single point knitting needles. So I got these from Knitter's Pride. They have acquired the brand rights for Lantern Moon, and I did post an unboxing video on all the goodies that I received from them. So I'm testing them out so that I can provide an actual review on the needles. This pattern is in multiples of 8 plus 2. So I cast it on 32 plus 2. I have a total of 34 stitches. Okay, we're going to start with 2 purl stitches. Okay, and the repeat is going to be knit 2, purl 2. And we're going to knit 2, purl 2 all the way to the end. So that's 1, 2. Yarn in the front and purl 2. 1, 2. Okay, just repeat all the way across. Knit 2, purl 2. Knit 2, yarn in the front, purl 2. Yarn in the back, knit 2. I'm on my last 4 stitches. Knit 2 and purl 2. Okay, row 2, this is the wrong side, and it's going to be the same on every wrong side row. We're going to knit 2, purl 2 across. So you're knitting the knit stitches and purling the purl stitches. Okay, knit 2 and purl 2. 1, 2. Knit 2 and purl 2. Repeat that all the way across. When you get to the last 2 stitches, you're going to knit the last 2 stitches. Okay, last 2 stitches, knit 2. Row 3, this is where we are going to work the smocking stitch. So you want to count 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you want to insert your needle between the 6th and the 7th stitch. And then you want to grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. And then you're going to place this loop on your left hand needle. Okay, now we're going to knit this loop that we just pulled from here with the next stitch. We're going to knit those 2 together. So I'm going to insert through both of these loops. Okay, it's going through both these loops. And then I'm going to carefully just knit those together without pulling it tight. The important thing is just try and keep the tension the same throughout the pattern. Okay, so now we're going to knit 1, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and then we're going to work the smocking stitch again. So what we did in between is we kept the stitch pattern at the 2 by 2, so knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, and then purl 2, and we're on the other side of this smocking stitch, so we're ready to start the next. So I'm going to count 6 stitches over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Between the 6th and 7th stitch, I'm going to insert my needle right into the space between those 2 stitches, grab my working yarn and pull a loop through, place it on my needle, and then knit it together with the next stitch. Again, try to keep your smocking stitch tension consistent. You can tell that this one is a lot looser than that one. I probably should have pulled this a little bit tighter. This is actually my first time working this stitch, so it's gonna be trial and error for me. And if I find anything that works, I'll let you know later in the video. Okay, so we're going to repeat. That was the beginning of the repeat, the smocking stitch. And then we're going to knit 1, purl 2, knit 2, and purl 2. So if you get lost, just make sure that you follow the stitch pattern, purl the purl stitches, knit the knit stitches. Okay, smocking stitch again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right after, between the 6th and 7th stitch, pull up a loop, place it on your needle, and then knit these 2 stitches together. Knit 1, purl 2, knit 2, and purl 2. So I'm switching on over to traditional English. Okay, so I'm going to count 6 stitches over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and place my needle between those 2 stitches, wrap my yarn around my needle, pull up a loop, place it on this needle here, and then knit these 2 stitches together. I do have a tighter tension when knitting traditional, so I need to make sure that this is nice and loose. And then I'm going to complete the pattern. Okay, I'm going to knit the next stitch, purl the next stitch, purl, knit 2, and last 2 stitches I'm going to purl 2. Okay, that was row 3. You can definitely tell that my first stitch here was a little bit looser than the rest of the smocking stitches. We'll just have to see how it turns out. Row 4 is going to be the same as row 2. So the wrong side row is always going to be worked knit 2, and purl 2. So I'm going to do that all the way across. So this is where I worked the smocking. I'm just going to come on over here and knit my next 2 stitches and then continue with my 2x2 rib. Okay, row 5, we're going to start with purl 2. And knit 2. So the repeat is knit 2, purl 2 all the way across. Row 6 is going to be the wrong side again. So we are just going to work knit 2, purl 2 all the way across. You want to end with 2 knit stitches. Okay, row 7, we're going to work smocking stitches around these 2 sets here. So they're staggered from here. So it's going to be worked here, here, and here. Okay, so we're going to start with purling 2 stitches. Now we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to work the smocking stitches. So they're basically wrapping around these 2 knit stitches, these 2 knit stitches, and then everything in between, so these purl stitches. So you can count 6 stitches over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Insert your needle between 6th and 7th stitch, pull up a loop, place it on your needle, and then we're going to knit 2 together. So you want to just take a quick look to see if your tension is consistent with the other smocking stitches. So we're going to knit the loop we pulled up and the next stitch together. Okay, now I'm going to knit 1, purl 2, knit 2, and purl 2. And then we're going to work another smocking stitch. So you can see how they are staggered. The smocking stitch is between these 2 smocking stitches. So again, 6 stitches over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Insert your needle, wrap your yarn, pull up a loop, place it on your needle, and knit these 2 stitches together. And then that's what you repeat across. So it's just like row 3, except it's staggered. So repeat the smocking stitch and then work across to the next 6 stitches and work your smocking stitch there. And in the last 4 stitches, we're going to knit 2, purl 2. Okay, I'm actually at my last 4 stitches. So I'm just going to knit 2 and purl 2. Okay, we're back on the wrong side. We're just going to work our knit 2 and purl 2 stitches. And then that is your 8-row repeat. All right, guys, that is your 8-row repeat. Looks a little messy, but I think blocking will save my life. Okay, so you're going to repeat rows 1 through 8 until you're happy with the size. To keep it consistent, I would finish off with 2 rows after the smocking stitch, because there are 2 rows before we started the smocking stitch. The smocking stitch happens every 4 rows, and then the rest is going to be the same on the right side and the same on the wrong side. So it's your 2x2 ribbing. You want to knit the knit stitches and purl the purl stitches. Okay, I'm going to work a few more rows and then show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've worked a few more repeats and I just completed a smocking row, so I'm on the wrong side. I'm going to work my 2x2 rib, starting with knit 2, ending with knit 2. Okay, so I think I'm just going to cast off here. So you're going to want to knit 2, and then you're going to grab the first knitted stitch and pass it over the second knitted stitch, and then drop it off of the needle. And then you're going to repeat knit 1, grab this stitch here and pass it over the just knitted stitch. Knit 1, pass this stitch over, knit 1, and pass this stitch over. Okay, so once you have 1 loop left, just cut your yarn, leave a tail so you can weave that in. Just pull this through, and then you can block this. So this is approximately 7 by 7. All right, so I am going to block this and fix some of the low tension issues. I think I did pretty good with the tension of the smocking stitches. Not perfect, but I'll try and fix that when I block it. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. It really helps out my channel. And while you're there, hit that notification button so that you'll be notified every time I post a new video. I am working on uploading more videos in the near future, and your support is greatly appreciated. I'll see you next time.